fine. Thank you for joining us. You are watching KUHS The Stream on Melody Drive, and this is the Weekend Boost. I am the host of the show, Paul Lane, and the author of The Caregiver's Handbook, a self-help love story. I had a couple of copies in my car, and I sold them both this week, so I don't have a copy to show you. But
sold out.
Sold out, at least for what's in the car. So, guys, thank you so much. Those of you who have been ordering books, it's very exciting. If you would like an autographed copy, you can email me at info@paullane.net, or you can reach out at laneman, LANEMAN09 at comcast.net, and I will send you an autographed copy. Guys, you know, we like to do a variety of topics on the show, and I'm always looking for new, exciting people, but I'm always reaching out to people that have been on the show before. And one of the greatest things that I like about this show is that I've made some really exciting and very cool friends that I stay in touch with. And you know, we don't talk every day, but we stay in touch on a regular basis. And Barb Crowley, we've been friends for about 4.5 years.
Right. Yeah.
And Barb is a psychic.
I'm a psychic, a medium, a pet communicator, medical intuitive. Basically, I do it all.
So I mean, Barb is when you start talking to her and finding out her background and her experience and her knowledge, it's like, oh man, I want to know you.
I'm having a great ride. Let's say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago, we met by accident at For Heaven's Sake.
Right.
Yeah.
At a metaphysical store, which is where I work on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
So Wednesdays and Saturdays, yes.
Yeah.
And so I walked by Barb, and I looked at her and I said, is your name Barb? And she looked at me and she goes, yeah. And I said, are you a psychic? She goes, yeah. And I said, I thought she was a psychic that I had worked with down on South Wadsworth, but she wasn't. And you know, we struck up a conversation, and you know, and it's the rest is history.
Yeah, it's been great. I have loved knowing Paul and his partner Dee.
Yes. Yes.
It's been phenomenal. Last time we talked, we were talking about a broken washing machine. I was so mad that I actually tore it apart and put it back together myself.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Really briefly, just talk about that. What happened? You had a broken washing machine.
Yeah, I came back. I was on vacation. I came back. I had my air conditioner went down. My water heater broke, so I was flooded. You know, this is coming back into my house. My washing machine went down. My what was that thing under the sink? You know, the
garbage disposal.
Thank you. Garbage disposal went down.
Man.
Something else went down. It was all going, you know, to the point where, okay, clean it out energetically. I did that. And then actually I had an electrician come in and say, is this house grounded? What is going on? Because everything was going on. And then I went out shopping for a washing machine. So it went down, full tub, full load. And, you know, I hated what I saw out there and the cost and, you know, all of that. And then I couldn't get what I wanted. I got so pissed off that I tore it apart myself. Thank God for YouTube. Thank God. And fixed it. I fixed it myself.
Did you hear that? She tore her washing machine apart.
Right. Thank God for anger, right?
Hey, you know, I mean, so many times when we have a situation in our life and we feel helpless and we feel like there's just no solution, and it sometimes is right in front of us.
Right.
And sometimes YouTube, oh my gosh. I mean, there are so many things.
I couldn't have done it.
Yeah,
couldn't have done it. Yeah.
And the washing machine running fine.
It's running, and I look at it and think, what a beautiful washing machine.
Oh man,
I know. It's the old style. I can decide what level of water I have. You know, it's just basic. So anyway, here's a love to the washing machines.
Yep. And I'll tell you, self-reliance is a beautiful thing, and it's something that
it did feel great.
Yeah,
and I fixed it for under $10.
And a new one would have cost you $600.
That's before delivery and before haul away and all of that. Yeah, and somebody would have fixed that and resold it, you know.
And got a few $100 for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it would have run. I expect it to run for years now. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, love to the washing machine.
Yeah, the victory, man.
Right.
You know, I want to talk really briefly about something that I've always done, but I've just really amped up my self-talk.
Mhm.
And a little bit off track, topic, but I wanted to say this because I believe that our intentions, our lives are intention driven.
Mhm.
And I know people who have so many bad thing after bad thing after bad thing after bad thing, and sometimes it could be something like as simple as a grounded house, but it could be something as simple as us giving ourselves negative self-talk or self-doubt or whatever the case may be. Just feeling that you just are not inadequate, whatever the case may be, and. I drive down the street and I say, you know what, everything goes my way. I'm the luckiest guy I know. Every light is green. Money just keeps coming into my hand. And I am not kidding you, Barb. It happens, man.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm the luckiest freaking guy I know.
That is great, yeah.
And it's like, not only that, all of a sudden, all these things that you're grateful for, or you should be grateful for, but you're not. I mean, like the sandwich I had for breakfast. Oh my gosh, I mean, as I was eating it, I was just so full of gratitude and savoring it, and it was just like, oh man, it's even a step better than it would have been.
Right. I often think how lucky I am.
Yeah,
I am
man.
so lucky.
Yes.
Hey, I have to say though, all those things that went wrong in my house.
Yes.
Every one of them, I call it, I got saved. Every one of them was mine. Oh, that's a gasket on the water.
Oh man.
That's a gasket, not a new water. That's a gasket.
Yes.
We just need to clean it out. We just. So I just wanted to say that all of those things, and you think with each one, I thought I got saved. How lucky I am!
Oh
yeah.
man, yeah.
But I did get to the point where I was afraid to turn on the dishwasher. It's like we'll wait.
Oh, yeah. I went through a
is.
cycle like that at the first of the year. I mean, it was like my garage door broke, and then my refrigerator went out. Then I blew a tire. I had to buy new tires. And then all my shocks went out. And it's like month after month after month, and it's like, man, talk about energy clearing. And we did that. We did an energy clearing, you believe or not, doesn't matter, but maybe it's psychological, who knows? But I know this, after we did an energy clearing on our house, things changed.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire energy level.
That's what it is. The energy's off.
And so many,
I think my house was mad at me for being away.
Oh man. Have you noticed that when you wash your car, it runs better? It's like, oh my gosh, I mean, it's almost like these things have a presence, or
they have their own personality.
Yeah.
My house's personality is water. It loves water, which makes me nervous. But that's where I come in. The water heater's broken, and it was leaking from the top.
Oh.
It was coming out, but it was coming out pretty good. So thank God it wasn't leaking that long.
Oh, good.
So yeah.
You got that taken care of, huh?
Yeah. The guy who did the furnace came in on the furnace. He looked at it and he said, "Oh, that's a gasket." Everybody else was new water heater. Oh, that's a gasket. I'm telling you, I got saved on every one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Man.
But it is energy. It is
a state of mind.
Yeah, an energetic thing coming in. I just heard somebody say, I think it was Demi Moore on the TV or something, and you know how we think, why is this happening to me? She says, why is this happening for me?
Yeah.
And I thought, what a great saying that.
Yes, that is
why
great.
Is this happening for me? Yeah. So now I've stolen that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Why is this happening for me? But boy, things are wild. I've decided that my whole house, it was climate change. That it was, because it was shut down. It was here. It was so dry, and it was 100 degrees, over 100 degrees all the time. So I decided it was all climate change. It just needed a little love, and it all came back.
Little TLC.
Yeah.
You know what?
Got saved.
it really is interesting about little things in life, because I was plagued with some little call them petty annoyances this summer, and one of them was a sprinkler. One of my zones on my sprinkler line, I had concrete put in last year, and they punctured one of my lines, and it was under the concrete.
Yeah.
And all summer long, I've left that zone off, and I've been hand watering. And last week, I was doing my checkoff list of all my petty annoyances, and I said, okay, it's time. And so I got, I cut the grass out, and I went over there and I dug it out, and it was a little tiny hole, and it was right under the sidewalk. I could have done it freaking 3 months ago, but I was overwhelmed thinking that it was going to be a big thing, and I made a big thing out of a tiny little molehill.
I know. That's a lot of it, isn't it?
Oh man,
we're intimidated by it.
We're afraid that, I don't know. Are we afraid of failure? Are we afraid? It's like
we're afraid that of the unknown. I think, and it's going to be bigger than we can handle. Those two things. Yeah.
Yep.
I just went into the furnace went down recently. So
Uh-huh.
I went in because I'm going to fix it now, you know. In the end,
Put
I
on
had
your
to call
overalls.
them in. Yeah. Oh, I have an outfit. You know, for that stuff. And in the end, I had to call him in. Don't you know, though, the guy who does my furnace, he came in, he unplugged this thing from the circuit board. I'm afraid it's a circuit board, so I don't touch that. He unplugged it, plugged it back in, worked perfectly.
Wow,
I got saved again.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know.
Yeah.
But I would have preferred not to see him at all.
Yeah, yeah. Be
I
nice
know.
to know you from a distance, you know?
Yeah, but I did. I took it off. I did a number of things that I felt comfortable doing. But when it comes to circuit board or gas, it's a gas furnace. I don't do gas.
Yeah.
So, you know. But anyway, things have been good. Things
Right
have
on,
really
right
been
on.
good, yeah.
So you, when you first came on here, you were just thinking about doing a radio show.
Right.
And
I've
you
been
started
doing it
it.
now for 3 years.
A View Through the Veil.
3.5. I'm going to be 4 years in March.
Amen.
Jeez, yeah.
So Barb has her own show, A View Through the Veil.
Yeah, it's
and
metaphysics of View Through the Veil, but I'm a viewthroughtheveil.com, so you can always find me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, if someone wanted to hire you for services, do you offer your services?
Oh yeah,
Tell me
definitely.
a little bit about that.
Okay, I can do the psychic services, and my method is, you know, I will use your birth name on your birth certificate when you were born, when you first came into life, because that's when I want to catch you. That's when I want to see what was the plan, what'd you bring with you, who'd you birth yourself to, where, these are all your plans. So I ask for your birth name 3 times. That vibration opens up your soul to me. I can go anywhere from there. But the most important thing is the first picture that your spirit gives me.
Wow.
And that's what it says. Here's what we're working on now. Here's why I had that person contact you. So I could go through you and tell them this.
And so much opens up just through that vibration of the word.
Oh, everything opens up. I can go into past lives, medical, and it'll pop. I mean, your spirit will say, oh, look at this, where I'll have to say, how come that's come up? How come your daughter's in your reading? Mostly because there's a problem with your daughter. You're worried about your daughter. Other than that, your kids never pop in, when everything's good. But when they pop in, something not good. I know.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
but it's always amazing to me to look at what's going on with you. What fears you have, what's stopping you, where are the blocks, whatever. Did this come in with you? Did you bring it in with you, or did something happen here? Because often there was a trauma or something happened and kind of broke you a little bit. So I'll go back through your life and see, and while I'm going back through your life, I'm getting all kinds of information that I share with you. And then I'll go back into past life, and then if it is something that came in with you, then we're looking at why did it. And the past lives I look at, what's impacting this life. What, because we have thousands, millions probably. Most of them I have to say are totally boring, But you'll pick a couple of lives that you'll want to work on that will impact this life. And we'll look at what are those things that you want to work on. And where are you working on them in this life, and how you doing with that?
How you doing?
Are you trying to avoid it, or But often your spirit says, I'm clearing this before I leave this life. I'm going to clear this up, or have this experience, or whatever. But
last November I went through a past lives regression therapy. Christine Morton, if you're ever looking for someone to go through a past lives regression. And I went into a past life, and I found things about trauma that have been in this life, and probably every lifetime since then.
Right.
And I was able to address that, and I mean, it was a life changer for me, Barb.
It is. You move that energy.
Oh.
It's like anything else. You put it on the table in the light, and it just dissipates.
Yes, absolutely, and it did. I was taking my cousin to the hospital for physical therapy the other day, and I hadn't ridden in a car with her for several years, and she goes, "Cousin, did you quit speeding?"
Spitting.
I quit spitting and speeding.
Yeah.
No, but she couldn't believe that I wasn't driving like a bat out of hell.
Calm. Yeah.
And I mean, there's an internal calm that's come over me that I don't have night sweats at all anymore, and I had them every single night, 365 nights a year.
Wow.
My anger issues have completely. I don't want to say completely because everyone has issues, but
sure.
I mean, comparatively, they have subsided so much, I would call it 90%.
Right.
And so many times in our life, we have traumas from our birth, you know. I mean, I've heard stories of someone being taken to their childhood and finding out that their mother had abandoned them. And they always had this abandonment issue, and they realized, you know, from going back that their mom said, I don't want to lose you, I don't want to let you go, but I can't keep you because my mom won't let me. And all of a sudden, there's this healing that takes place.
If once you look at it, that energy moves, that energy heals.
Does everybody have wounds from?
No,
not
everybody does. But you know, again, sometimes you bring it in with you. Sometimes it's here, and sometimes you just want to have an experience. Like you can actually have an addiction experience in this lifetime, and there's no other reason other than you want to have the experience that you chose to come in and have this experience. Often it's so that you can know it at a deep core level, so that in the next life or from the other side, you can work with addicts. And you need to know from their side what it's like, not from a book or outside. So you come in and you move to experience what it's like to be an addict. And where people are going back and saying, what made me an addict? Well, we go into the previous life or go into the past life. And I see, oh my God, this, you know.
It was like a soul contract.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say in the past life you had a brother who was an addict and you couldn't understand why they couldn't beat it, whatever, and you decided to come in and experience it. So again, once you understand that, you can work with it. So now it's like, you know, you've been looking for the trauma, but if you can't heal the trauma, you can't heal the addiction. And now you realize, no, there is no trauma to look at. You can just deal with the addiction. You can heal it. Now you know what it's like, so now you can let it go.
Man,
you can move on.
I don't know. For me, that's profound.
Right.
You know, so many times we take a path and we don't even understand why we're taking that path, or we make a decision, or we do something that we would never do, and all of a sudden we're sitting here saying, "What did I just do? What just happened to me?"
Right.
And you know, I remember when I was coming out through my second, there's a life between life session that you go through after your first one, and you know, I was able to cut all my soul contracts that were not serving me. And you know, I gotta tell you that just doing that was so liberating, and it just opened up so much, I think, flow of energy for me.
It does. Well, you're letting go. In other words, you've completed.
Yes.
You know,
you're not hanging on to that.
Yeah, exactly. You've completed it. You've seen it. You've recognized it. Now you can let it go.
And you can live in this life with a purpose, you know. And
well, you can get on to the next part of your plan.
That's
really what it is.
Oh, makes sense. What about a life purpose? Do people have a life purpose?
Yeah, everybody's got a plan coming in.
And so many of us go through life aimlessly, like a ship without a rudder.
That's what it looks like, but it may not be.
But it may not be. Like you say, you may not have any idea what what that contract you made before.
And I've read people where I say, oh, your whole life now is supposed to be just curiosity. You're like the bee going from the flower to the flower to the flower to the flower. And you're trying so hard to be organized and focused and stay with one thing and all. And your life purpose is not that. That's why it's so hard.
Whoa,
you are so curious that you want to go find out all about this, and then you're done. And then you want to go find out all about that, and you're done. You've been demonizing that. You know, but it's perfectly fine. You know, it's not wrecking your life. It's not, you're making a living. You've got a nice place to live, all those things. But you've been trying to say to yourself, well, I should pick one thing and be focused on it, and that should be my thing. Your thing is curiosity. That's
discovery.
Your thing,
Oh, man.
To try everything. And again, you know, once you look at that and you realize that is the life purpose, they can relax. They can accept who they are. And enjoy living.
And really enjoy the trip.
Exactly.
And continue with that journey, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
try everything and enjoy trying everything. So yeah, it's a real release.
Do you ever run into someone who's just got a dark cloud above them everywhere they go? And do you have a way to address with them, or do you sometimes?
There are beings. Well, there is psychic energy. You know, people talk about, oh, I've got a psychic attack, or a lot of people talk about curses. Curses are not that easy. Let me tell you that. They're not that easy to throw. and they've got to overcome your willpower. So these are not easy things to do. I'm not saying they're not out there, they are, but most of it is psychic energy that got thrown at you.
Yes.
Or of what I call a being. You know, there's energies and spirits floating around that will attach, you know, and they can easily be removed.
Yeah.
You know, that's an easy thing to remove. You know, if psychic energy getting thrown at you, if you're driving and all of a sudden the guy in the car next to you is just raging at you for who knows why, you know, that actually is psychic energy coming at you.
Wow.
You know, and you know how, like, if somebody's mad and they say something to you and it wrecks you all day and all that, that is psychic energy.
It's like a baseball went through your windshield.
Exactly, yeah.
Whoa,
and it
man.
gets, sometimes it gets hit, it gets attached to you. And you want to clean that out. And you clean it, you can just imagine it just sucking out of your aura. You know, just going down to the center of the earth and sucking out of your aura. And you can do this yourself. The thing is the recognition of what happened here.
Wow.
That you just, and that is, you know, in quotes, air quotes here, psychic attack. You know, that's energy coming at you.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's stuck. And then, you know, and often I'll do that. I'll look at somebody and it's like, okay, you know, you've got this attached to you. Sometimes they are beings, you know, and they can be from other dimensions and all of that. And they can all be removed. They can all be removed. Although I do have one that I'm working with right now that honestly I could remove him. I could push him all the way back to the corner, but I could not remove him. So I went to an exorcist. I said, the person I was working with, I said, okay, bigger than me, you know, and went to an exorcist who's now working on it. And it is the most amazing thing. So when somebody comes in and they say, you know, I've got, you know, I'm possessed, whatever, you know, immediately I look at them psychically to see if, is this energy got thrown at them that they picked up, another being. You know, what am I looking at? Is it psychological? Am I looking at mental illness? You know, all of that. So I'm looking at it psychically. With this woman, I saw this shadow go across her face, and the being showed himself to me. And then
I got chills, man.
Yeah. And then twice I talked to the being directly, and then I told him and it's him coming through her, and I told him you cannot. She was coming into the store. You cannot come in here anymore because he loves the stage, and I'm not going to give him a stage. And he was very loud, and he wanted everybody to experience him. Yeah, exactly. So I said, no more of that. We're not giving you that stage.
Wow.
And you know, I worked with them, and I brought in some people, and we could really kind of back them off, subdue them, have them in a corner. But the removal, and I could see where it was coming in. But I realized, okay, this is beyond me, and because of my radio show, I've had exorcists on, that's their specialty.
Wow.
So I went there, and we're in the middle of working with an exorcist on it. But yeah, there's phenomenal things that go on. You know, but seeing that being, that where he showed himself go right across her face.
Man, oh
you
man.
know, it was like, oh, we're with the real thing here.
This is serious. You know, one of the things that you taught me the first time we met was you told me that I was an empath, and I never knew that.
Right.
And I have continually,
a lot of people are,
even from then till now, I am always on guard. I mean, you know, I smudge myself when I get home. When I go to the grocery store, if I go to especially the secondhand store, I smudge myself every time I get home. Walk in the door, wash my hands. I do, you know, spiritual cleanliness, you know.
Right.
And
pull yourself into body because your spirit's out visiting everybody too.
No kidding.
I know.
And so, you know, that was such a revelation for me because I've experienced so many times in my life attachments, and I didn't know what's going on. Why am I so? You know, I mean, we walked in the house one day, Dee and my wife and I, and we had just come from the secondhand store, and we had this massive fight.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't fight. We don't even hardly yell at each other.
Right.
We're screaming at each other.
You two are pretty compatible. Yeah.
And you know, all of a sudden she comes up to me with the piece of sage. She goes, "You need to smudge yourself." And I go, "Oh my gosh, you're right." You know, and you know, we went and we smudged everything.
Isn't that amazing when you recognize somebody's in my space, somebody else is here? Yeah.
You know, I got to tell you how I came upon this understanding.
Mhm.
I used to be a gas pipe fitter for the public service. Used to be it's Excel Energy now,
Right.
and we used to always come upon trash heaps where they threw old bottles and everything. One of the places we went was over by the 8th Avenue Viaduct in West Denver, and I found a cache of bottles from the 1860s.
Wow.
No corks, no threaded lids, all,
Yeah.
I mean, no threaded lids, all corked,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, no, thick
and-
glass,
yeah,
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
the blue, the green, all.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
found Vicks jars that were 100 and years, over 120 years
Wow,
old.
that's wild.
And I took them home.
Mhm.
And I put them in my office, and my dog would go in there, and she'd stand on her back legs and just look at those boxes. And it's like,
Wow.
it didn't hit me at that time.
Yeah.
And then it got more pronounced and more pronounced, and I decided to paint that room. And when I took those boxes out, my dog followed the boxes, Barb.
Really?
And I started feeling, really smelling cigarettes. I would smell tobacco smoke. I mean, not the pipe tobacco. And there's like, holy cow, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And
Things can get attached. Spirits can get attached to things.
yes, yeah. And
This will wreck your thrift store, you
Oh,
find.
man.
So, it's like you want to energetically clean these things before you bring them in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there are some things, check with yourself. Before you even buy them, you want to maybe not buy them.
Yeah, there are some things that I'll walk by. I love the thrift store.
I do too.
Oh my gosh. But there are things that I'll walk by and I go, I like it, but no.
Don't do it.
For
Don't
some
do it.
reason,
Yeah.
maybe my inside is telling me this is not good.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, your spirit's saying pass by, pass by. Yeah, you don't want to bring this in. I had an author on. Her name's Anna Marie Manola. She's a fabulous writer. I've got to send you some of her
please
books.
do.
I
Please
mean,
do.
oh my God. But she writes about, there are psychic investigators that are so well trained, they're like FBI trained. And they're all over the country, they're all over the world. And they will go in on something going on psychically, and they will go in and investigate it.
Wow.
And she has talked to some of these people and written their stories.
Oh.
And I am telling you, and they're true.
Dude, hook me
and they're
up.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I said, I'm the third one. I said, no more, I can't do it anymore. But she writes
Really?
about having, and this happened to her. She got a chair at thrift store, loved the chair, and brought it in. She was in college, so brought it into a dorm. And in the dorm, she never saw any spirit with her, but everybody else did. Well, the person who actually transported it for her said, we got to get rid of that chair. All kinds of things are happening to my car, to me, all of that. Well, they brought it out they're on the East Coast, to Connecticut, and they by the ocean, somebody had a house there, and she was going to clean it. Well, it was beyond her scope to do this, this, whatever entity with this chair, they couldn't clean it. So they brought it down to the ocean and put it by the waves, and this thing walked itself backwards away from the waves. I know.
Man.
This woman has the most wild stories. And they ended up throwing it out on the side of the road. They didn't know what to do with it. But she writes about a haunted house it's a big house. So it's really was being made into a boutique hotel up in Pennsylvania. I think it's, what's the name of it? Well, it's Anna Maria Manola, her name is,
Okay.
so anybody can look her up. Or come to my website and I'll give it to Paul, come to his website. And you got hooked into this woman. I
Definitely.
Mean, but I won't read her stuff anymore. I'm too afraid.
It's really deep, huh?
Oh, it's the other side. When you really get involved, there's a lot of scary parts to it.
No kidding.
A lot of scary parts, yeah, and a lot of, like we talked about, things that are attached to a house, and I do house clearings as well. I can do those kind of clearings as well. But this is kind of thing where there was a murder, like 100 years ago, over 100 years ago, and those spirits were all still there.
Man.
And somebody took a chair out, and the spirit destroyed where he lived, set it on fire, blew it up. He was burned, and he turned around and he looked, and the ghost was sitting in the chair he stole.
Oh.
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm telling you, these books are great.
Yeah, definitely.
I know.
You referred me to Brigitte Mars.
Yeah.
She's
She's
been on
great.
the show, and she's
Yeah.
coming on again next month.
Oh,
so,
is she great? Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, because we just fell in love.
I'm gonna introduce you to Anna Marie Manola.
Oh, do, yeah, do, because, you know, we're always, and by the way, if you're watching and if you're interested in being on the show, if you're an author, or if you're a person of note, if you have a story that you want
Right.
to share, get a hold of me, man, because I want to feature you, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're an author and you haven't gotten any exposure, come on the show, we'll definitely put you
Yeah,
on there.
if you've got something
you know?
to say, you know, we've got the place for people to listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Both
Hey,
of us, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah.
Barbara's an excellent, man, I'm telling you, we've sat and visited with her, you know, we've had dinner a few times, and,
Yeah.
and you know, it's
We
like,
can talk forever. Paul
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can talk forever about this stuff.
it is exciting.
Yeah,
exciting.
it is. It's amazing what we get to see and the people we meet through our shows. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in awe of these people.
Oh, me too, man, it's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah.
You know, I've been starting a healing practice. I don't know if we've.
Oh no, I didn't know this.
And I have quite a bit of high-tech equipment, you know, so I don't take full credit for everything, but I'm working with a 6-year-old boy who's been having seizures all, you know, for the last
Wow.
3 years or so.
Oh wow.
And they're not convulsive seizures. They're when you, I don't, there's a term
It's
for
like
it.
where they stare.
They just, yeah.
Yeah, and they go quiet. Yeah.
And last
it's a
week he came to
seizure.
the house and on Friday, and the last I spoke to his father, he went from 4 to 6 seizures down to 1 and 2 seizures a day.
Wow, that's fabulous.
And so, you know, I mean, whether your healing is energetic or whether it's frequency or you know, your intentions are good, you know, good. You're going to help people and good things happen, and it just makes the world
Right.
a better place.
It helps to move the energy. When your energy is a healing energy, sometimes just being in proximity
Yeah.
can help move their energy as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
so-
I do life coaching with his father, and you know, he tells me, "Oh, I love coming in this house. I just feel so good." You know, it's like,
Yeah.
thank you.
You do have a good feeling house.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We just love
Now
it.
that
you
you
know.
got rid of the glass, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, actually, I had a box of it, and I left it at a place I moved out.
Somebody else is dealing with it. Yeah.
You know, the glass was too beautiful to shatter and to destroy. You know.
Oh no,
but-
I've seen glass like that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's like you don't even think about all of these entities, energies, whatever you want to call them, negative thoughts
Right.
that are present and that are, you know, even in the Bible it talks about the spiritual warfare going on all around us, and you know, there are entities, there are energies, there are things that want to attach themselves.
Right. There are dimensions. A lot of
Oh my
dimensions
gosh!
out there.
Talk
yeah.
about dimensions.
Right. Well, you know, I've come to the conclusion, again, I've interviewed a bunch of people and read a bunch of books, but I've come to the conclusion that somehow Earth and humans are protected. You know, there's a protection around us from all the dimensions in the universe, because we are, as we come into life and we cut ourselves off from all the energy and you know, we make ourselves so dense to be here and to have this experience. We are just, you know, easy targets. So yeah, to the rest of, so we have to be, in some way, we have to be protected. And the other thing I noticed is Sasquatch is from another dimension. They're a thing, but they can't seem to be here for long.
It's like they're in and out.
They're in and out. The density, the vibration here, they can't stay unless they take a human body in some way.
Wow.
ETs, as you'll notice, they don't stay long. You know, that big Phoenix sighting in 1998, you know, they were here and quiet, 10,000 people saw them, but it wasn't that long. It wasn't like they stayed for a week. No, they stayed for an hour and they were gone. You know, the density of this planet won't allow it. But also there's got to be a protection, because there's some scary stuff out there.
Yep.
You know, there's really some scary, but anyway, I don't want to scare everybody to death. We'll leave that to Anna Marie.
No, but really, I think about, you know, I would love to watch insects. And we were walking at a park and we came across a praying mantis.
Right.
And it had a bug and it was eating it.
Yeah.
And to think about how scary that world is.
Yeah.
This world is just as scary if you really,
Yeah.
you know, if you had the view to be able to see, you know.
Right, and thank God we don't,
Thank goodness,
because
yeah.
we are helpless in our inability to, you know, we have spiritual university, because it's hard. It is very hard.
I've always said I'm in the master's degree program in the School of Life.
Right, you are. I mean, you really are. And there are no young souls here. You couldn't survive. You know, and a lot of, and this is where I say to people, you know, don't be too open, you know, because a lot of other low-level spirits or a lot of other spirits, they could not make a body. They could not do a plan to come in here.
Wow.
They could not come in here. They weren't strong enough, powerful enough, or really an old enough soul to do it, strong enough. And this is one thing I always tell everybody. If you're intimidated by a ghost, by a spirit, by anything, understand you are stronger than that. They will use intimidation and fear because you've wired your body for fear. You know, this is part of the earth thing. But you are stronger than that spirit. They couldn't make a body. This is why they're trying to intimidate you. They could not make a body to get here.
Wow.
So know that you are stronger. And the minute they realize that you know this, they're gone. They're gone because they know, oh, I can't
There's no
do
chance.
it.
There's
Yeah.
no hope here.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
It's really an amazing thing to look at the world psychically and to see the whole plan and people's plans coming in. You know, it's fascinating. And then dimensions, we started. See, or if worse comes to worse, I can erase you out of the universe, out of existence.
Wow.
And that is the final, you know, the final threat.
That would be the
You know, and usually they're out of there. They don't want to go see God or the source because this is a violation. They're trying to hitchhike on your energy, and they have no right to do this. So they usually will go, you know, back to where they came from and bring their buddies, because often when they come in, they'll kind of duplicate themselves, and they found that little door, you know, and they'll bring their buddies. So you know, so I can get rid of that. And a lot of times people will feel later. They'll feel like, oh my God, you know, and things aren't going wrong around them, all of that. Mostly it's chaos energy, you know, that these spirits bring in. But they just want to hitchhike a ride and see what it's like to be here. Because they don't have the power to do it.
No.
You know, so
Wow.
those are some of the dimensions.
Wow.
But, yeah. It's amazing. It really is amazing.
No
out there.
kidding.
Yeah. And I can only see so far because in human form, my mind, my spirit, you know, my mind, my spirit's fine. But in human form, I can only see so far. My brain can't take it past there.
Right. It's almost like a filter there.
It is. It is. And I can't see beyond there. It's too big. You know. Yeah.
Hey guys, before I forget, if you're just joining us, you are watching KUHS The Stream, and this is the Weekend Boost. I'm the host, Paul Lane, and we're talking to my friend, Barb Crowley.
Hey.
And I'd just like to get your thoughts on, right now in this country, we have a lot of disharmony, we have a lot of chaos, we have a real heaviness, and both sides in this political election are saying that the other is going to destroy the country, and both sides are very opposed to one another.
Right.
And
very black and white. Everything's very black and white.
And their followers are just as emotionally attached to all of these feelings. And I wonder to myself, is this a spirit? Is this a mass hypnosis? What is going on here?
I'll tell you what I see, and really what's generally accepted out there is that we are going from one vibration to another.
We're transcending.
We're transcending. We're going from the third to the fifth. I keep saying to everybody, what happened to the fourth?
No doubt.
And they say, you don't want to go to the fourth. That's like the other dimension group. This is what I'm told, you know.
Wow.
And but when I looked at that pandemic psychically, that December, so it really hit, 2020, here, January, February. But I saw in December of that year the two vibrations coming together as if they slammed together. And it was like a dust storm. And it was like a fog but thick, like there's dust in it or sand in it or something, and I could see it swirl, and it was red. It was not China, it was the color red. It had an energy. But what scared me the most is it had intelligence.
Oh.
And I freaked out. It's like, oh my God, what is this? But then I
Oh,
realized
man.
the virus has intelligence, you know.
Sure it does. It sure.
But this world, this fog, I couldn't see through it. I couldn't see around it. And then I realized it was the two vibrations slamming together.
Mm.
We were the age of Aquarius, coming out of the old vibration and coming into the new. And it'll take us years to really get into the new. But you know, you'll see a lot of the kids upset and all, and that's their new dimension, being born in the old dimension.
Wow.
So this is a lot of the angst you feel. But it's also, so we're looking at the old dimension and the new dimension hitting
Clashing.
together,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of fear. And you know, a lot of people want to run back to the old dimension, which, you know, I mean, this is going on with or without you. You know, you can try and do whatever. And then a lot of people are saying, yes, let's go forward, you know, and this is the clash that's going on. But the fear, the level of fear in this, you know,
Just
in
the
the
unknown.
earth plane, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, well, we can feel it. We can feel this energy. And, you know, we don't know where we're going. And we're in a huge, not only dimensional change, a huge world change. So, you know, it's all of those things, you know. But it was amazing to look at that and realize, oh, this is what this is. This is the dust storm that blew up, you know.
And the dust is just starting to clear.
Yeah, well, we'll have a little while before it clears, yeah. I know, but it's still, there's a lightness. You know, when you can get past the fear, there's a lightness that didn't used to be there. And hopefully that's what we're going to choose, you know, with this election and all, that we're going to choose. And, you know, it is. The other people say you know, where I'm going to vote, they're going to say the dark, and I'm saying they're the dark.
Yeah.
Well, whoever, whichever way you choose, I hope we choose for the light. I even thought about getting a bunch of psychics together around the world, because we have so many connections from.
And there's oppression. There's, I mean, there's genocide. There's so,
yeah,
and it's just endless. It seems like, you know, sometimes I know people who just say, I can't watch the news. I can't listen to this. I can't hear it. And
it's too much.
It took me a long time to comprehend and understand that not everybody's wired like that. And I am, you know, I'm this guy that I watch the news. I watch, you know, I get my news from TikTok now, but.
And you got to be careful, because
you know, then you got
everything I say now is, I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, and anything can be replicated and, you know, and twisted.
I so wish in this country, other countries are doing it, that our education system would teach the kids and the adult how to know what's true.
Oh man.
How to look at and follow it backwards. Okay, who's your source, you know? And just go through it all to find out, is this true? Is this a good news source? You know, and unfortunately we don't have the training here.
You know, when you said that, a thought came to my mind, and it's a little off topic, but people spend more time planning a vacation than they do their life.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I mean, it's like, when I heard that statement, and you know, and then hearing you say that, it's like, people, I hope, are gravitating toward finding a purpose in their life. Finding, you know, some value that they may not have seen before, or finding a direction that is going to lead them into a place that's good for them, that's good for the world, you know?
Either that or accept who they are. You know,
exactly, like you said,
and just seeing themselves as, oh yeah, no, I came in to be curious. You know, to enjoy the curiosity, to enjoy all the different things here. You know, just accept who they are. And then I read a lot of people that, you know, a lot of women coming out of the 50s and the 60s and are retiring now don't know how to be for themselves.
Oh man.
You know, they've never learned it. They've never been allowed to have that, you know, and a lot of women are, especially women, men have been okay because it didn't change so much.
Because of the patriarchy is so.
Yeah, it didn't change so much for them. So a woman coming to a point of realizing, what do I want? Not a question she's ever asked in her life.
Wow.
You know, so for these women to be really seen and say, all you have to do is start asking this question. This is the first step you ask, is, what do I want?
Oh,
or
man.
what is good for me? And, and they'll say, well, should I do that? Just ask that question, because just asking that question is such a huge change. You have taken care of everybody your whole life, and that's all you know. And now you got to come back to yourself.
And there's no wrong answers.
There's no wrong answer.
Yes.
Yeah, they have no idea how to do it. And it's that one question. What's good for me?
It's religions, whether it's social systems, whether it's education, all of the above have been screwed up by men.
Yeah, but it's been brute force because men have the strength.
Yeah.
So it's been brute force, and now we're coming to the soft nuance.
Yes.
To the soft side of, and men want to be there too.
Yes, and they need to be there.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it goes the same way. I don't want chaos. I don't want lies.
No.
I don't want the money going to the top. I don't want to bankrupt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which are patterns here with some of these people.
And it's been it's not a new thing. It's been going on for 50 years.
Oh yeah, it has. It's a 50-year coup.
It's a 50-year coup, and it seems to be right on track at this point.
Yeah, exactly, doesn't it? That's where I think, can we get a bunch of psychics around the world just to hold energy for democracy? Because I want to live in a democratic world.
Absolutely.
Messy as it is, but, I want us to keep going back and say, every year or two, and say, okay, now what do we want to do? Or now who do we want to do?
Yeah.
And have that choice. And there's big possibility, that we're deciding not to have that choice going forward. To say, well, yeah, you do it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. There's a lot of people there. You do it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I'll say to them, what do you think in a year it'll be like? Because sooner or later, these choices you're no longer making are going to land in your doorstep.
Wow. And
they're going to demand. You can see it now. I mean, Washington Post just came out and said we're not going to endorse.
Anybody?
Well, yeah. Bezos is afraid to say anything because he's afraid if the election goes one way, retaliation. We're already in a dictatorship.
Oh yeah. I'm appreciating what we have
Right.
Because like I said, I'm big on TikTok. I got over 13,000 followers now.
That's amazing.
I've had several videos that have had 80,000 views. I had a guy that contacted me. He said, you have over 1 million views on Twitter, and I go, I'm not even on Twitter. And I'm like, I had 1 million views on Twitter. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And so.
Paul's reaching out. I have a great radio station, but not as good as Paul's. So come and build me.
Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, watch A View Through the Veil. I mean, go on there. You can find her on Instagram. Can they find you on Facebook too?
Instagram, Facebook. Now I'm putting it on YouTube, so I'm doing the video as well.
So look
I'm
her
on
up,
TikTok,
man. I tell you.
all that. We put out all the clips, of who I've got on.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have like 380 posts on Instagram and.
Yeah. And thank God I have somebody else do this. I don't.
Me neither. That's like, oh man, I thank goodness for Henry.
Yeah.
I mean, Henry's. If it wasn't for his technical know-how, I mean, I would have never ever been here.
Well, not only that, it takes a lot of work, but I can bore myself. When. I mean, I love talking to you, but I don't want to listen to it 4, 5, 6 times.
Yeah.
So I could, thank God for the technical people of the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn is huge.
Oh,
and
LinkedIn,
we put out clips on on who's coming, and then YouTube, of course, and I think I said TikTok. So we're out there, but I'm gonna make a change soon. I've been with Voice America, and I'm gonna be leaving them, and I'm just gonna go to all the platforms on my own and on YouTube. So I hope everybody comes with me.
Yes.
And again, come to aviewthroughtheveil.com and. Or Barb Crowley. You can, just put that out there. So don't leave me, guys.
Yeah, keep following. She has a lot to share and a lot of useful information that can help center and put a balance in your life, because so many times in our own lives, we get off track. We could sometimes fall out of the boat and not realize we're treading water.
And we realize the boat left us.
Or the boat's already down the road. And it's like, sometimes you need to get a little firm footing
and sometimes you just have to hear another opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where we are both so lucky that I can bring people on the radio show that have, it's like, oh my God, I never heard of that. I never thought, or that saying, why is this happening for me? you know, just that one line alone changes things,
Yeah.
you know? So we are lucky to be able to talk to people all over the world and with all different opinions or experiences and beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, it's fabulous.
Yeah, technology has its downside, but man, I'll tell you what, this is a great opportunity to, to reach out to people. And I know there's someone out there who's listening who's saying, wow, this is some interesting stuff. You know? And,
yeah.
Have you ever thought about writing a book, Barb?
Oh, I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have even opened up a document and thought I was going to write a book, and I've made it a page and a half.
Yeah.
Any writers out there, I need help.
Yeah.
But there are so many, and the people I read and the people I interview, and it's just phenomenal. And the people are just so interesting, and what's going on, and the healings that go on. Like you were telling me about your healing, your ability to heal, and to help people and to bring them out of the stuckness that they're in, and to see them and to change their vibration.
Yep.
So healing can go on. It just is amazing out there.
And sometimes what we need is we think we're so screwed off skewed off, and it's a little tweak we need,
Right.
I always say the difference between those who accomplish greatness and those who stand in awe of them is slight.
Yeah.
Look at the winner of the Kentucky Derby. Wins like 3 million, 5 million, I don't know what it is. And the second place wins like $800,000.
Yeah.
And you got a photograph
part
of
of a second.
Yeah. And so it's slight changes,
Right.
I talk about, you don't have to be 100% better. You have to do 100 things 1% better.
Right.
And your purpose starts coming to you. It gets more clarity as time goes, and as you start seeking that purpose or clarity.
A lot of it is just be true to yourself. A lot of the depression is where you're not coming home. You're not coming home to yourself. You're trying to think you're supposed to be on this path or that path or whatever, and you're not coming home to yourself. And a lot of it is just come home. Just start to think, okay, what am I thinking? Or what should I do? A lot of times we'll think, well, geez, I should do this, I should do that, I should do that. Well, the next thought is, what's true for me? Now you may choose to do something else, but go back and touch in and say, well, so I'm going to be kind because I want to be kind, or I'm going to say something because I need to say it, so come back to yourself, not about, well, I should say this because with your whole
because
story.
they need to hear it.
Or whatever, come back to yourself.
Wow.
And it's a lot that, and a lot of the tension will drain out.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, start looking at yourself, who you really are, what feels right for you. What feels right for you.
I talk a lot of, almost every time I have a guest, I try to remember to talk about gratitude. And gratitude is such an overpowering energy that takes the place of, displaces so many negativity, so many self-doubts, so much, fear.
It is.
Every day I end the day with
recognize how lucky you are.
Oh man, I'm telling you, yeah. Like I said, I'm so lucky.
I got by with that. Another way of saying, oh, I'm lucky, or thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah. I was Betsy Finkel, she was a guest here a few shows back, and we were talking about the Wonder Woman pose.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You actually release endorphins into your body. There's testosterone that's released. You start feeling good about yourself, and you know what? Your energy changes. Your energy levels go from this to this, and it's not a short process. It gets fast. It's unbelievable.
It is amazing. It is amazing that just that pose, just standing up straight sometimes.
Absolutely, rather than slouch. Slouch.
I know. It is amazing, and then I've interviewed people who do breath work.
Oh,
and how that can change so many things.
Yeah. Grounding. You know what? My wife and I are both tree huggers, and we don't care who we're
Right,
You know,
right,
and then
right.
people come by and, are you okay? Oh, yeah, I love this tree. You know, I do.
Yeah.
You know, and we go around this park and we say hello to the trees when we don't go, hey,
Yeah.
hello, friend, you know.
And
hey.
I've had people on that is the study of their life, is the energy of trees.
Oh, I'm
And the
convinced.
spirits in the trees.
Yeah.
And I think they call it diet, but I could have that wrong. That's the one thing about having a radio station. You can be wrong out loud.
Yeah, and it's okay.
Yeah,
you know,
it
it's
is.
okay. There's
But I think their spirits are called Daya.
really.
Yeah, I think.
That's
But anyway,
fascinating.
but
man.
they talk about the spirits of the trees and how much the trees know about you, about every plant around, about the whole area around, and how far that knowledge goes, like miles. You know, not
Yeah,
just
because
we
trees are
think they're
connected.
just stuck right there.
Yeah.
But it's miles. But the energy is
Jeez.
amazing. Yeah.
Oh man, that is
I
so
know.
exciting. I mean, like I said, when they talk about, they've done electrical studies and they prove that all of the cortisol, 80% of the cortisol is gone within 45 seconds, a minute.
Right.
And so, you know, the cortisol is what's eating you up. That's causing that oxidative stress. That's aging you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've told you before on the show, I am committed to being younger by the end of this year. And you know what? I'm on track.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
I want to
young.
hear about that.
Oh man, I tell you what, I you know, on my healing techniques and all of my tools, I've been really incorporating a lot of far infrared light and blue light, what they call terahertz.
The lights, you know, because
Yes.
a lot of times I'll read somebody and there's a medical issue, and I know they need to get light on them
Yes,
and
they do.
certain colors.
Penetrating light that
Yeah,
goes
and
into the
I
flesh.
don't know where to send them. So if anybody
I'm your
does
guy.
light out there, oh,
Let me
you
tell you,
do
I
it?
have
Oh
a
my
cousin.
God,
She's
I'm sending
71
them
years
to
old.
you.
Yeah. My cousin's 71 years old. She had hip surgery 2 weeks ago on the 1st of October, or 3 weeks ago. And I went over, I spent 3 days with her, D&I, and we put her on my far infrared and my blue light, and I put
Oh my
sound
God,
bowls
this
and
is
tuning
great,
forks,
yeah.
physical touch, and she did not get a bruise.
Oh,
Not a
that's
single bruise from her hip
fabulous.
to her
Yeah,
knee. Nothing.
You know what else light is good on? Parasites.
Oh man, I'm
It
telling
is
you.
amazing. I don't even think anything else works as well as
Well, the
colored light.
Rife machine, I'm using a Rife machine on my friend Beto right now, remotely. The spooky system is so good, but
Yeah.
I can get his
I don't
fingernails.
know much about that.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you gotta come over, Barbara.
Yeah,
we
you
gotta
got
talk.
to be on my show.
Hey, just let me know.
Like, oh, yeah,
But,
we're good. We'll set a date and a time. You're
Yeah,
on.
yeah, you know, but I have a blanket now. It's all infrared on the bottom, far infrared on top, and I wrap you in it, and it feels like a weighted blanket.
Wow. Yeah.
I did that on my cousin, and like I say, she was 3 weeks out of surgery, and she went to work the next day. She's a hairstylist.
Wow.
She went to work and cut 5 people's hair, and then she
Wow.
went to work again yesterday and cut 4 people's hair, and it's like, girl,
So she's right back.
she's
Yeah.
she shouldn't be, but she is, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
well, why shouldn't she be? I mean, if,
Well,
you
she
know.
had, I mean, it was pretty extensive hip surgery, and she had intestinal muscles retied,
wow.
and,
Yeah.
but she feels like she can do it, you know, and,
Yeah.
and
Has she been back for her, X-ray and all?
doctors
to
are
see?
pretty impressed. They're
Oh,
very
they
pleased with
good.
her. Her
Yeah.
recovery's been way ahead of track.
That's
you know, and
fabulous.
so especially
yeah.
for her age, and
Yeah.
so to be a part of that, I'm telling you, it is something exciting, guys. I offer services with infrared light. I'm looking for people who are fighting cancer, who are sick of being sick, who even just want to feel a little better. I have so many things. I have bentonite clay baths that I use. I'm using magnesium chloride baths. I mean, I'm using my far infrared sound. One of the things I've also discovered is people with cancer have a lot of issues with anger in them.
Well,
Fear and anger,
would,
so.
yeah, I would think. You're mad at your own body
Yes.
for letting you down.
Or animosity
Yeah.
towards other people, or anger
Yeah.
towards things in your life. But you know what, Barb, we're out of time.
And we're just getting
I
started.
love talking to you, Barb. It's such exciting when you come on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for
Um,
having me on. I really appreciate that.
Yes, guys, stay tuned. As always, KUHS always has great entertainment. Mr. International, Paul Chavez is coming up after me. Henry's going to be putting on a show, some great listening music. And then we have hip hop coming on this afternoon, I believe at 3 o'clock. It's going to be a great show, a great day. Stick with KUHS, guys. It's always a place to go. And as I always say, everyone's looking for a hero. And if you can't find one, be one. Barb,
that's nice.
thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Paul.
It's great to
Loving
see
it.
you.
Bye-bye.
Guys, see you next time.